All right, back into what is possibly the last game we cast today, but hopefully not. This is game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, on Frost, and as stated by Penguin before the game started, if we go to game number 3, it will be Derelict Watcher. So, I gotta tell you, I kind of hope this goes to game 3, because TVT on Derelict is really fun to watch. Those end up being like the 5 expansion type games.
Yeah, Derelict's a really cool map for, especially mech, because it's very wide open. The Hellion style play works very, very well on that map.
Alright, well guys, getting into this properly, spawning here in the top right corner of the map, playing for Team Liquid, it is the Blue Terran, Liquid Taeja.
And at the top left spawn location, spawning as the Red Terran, he's playing for Millennium, and he's one game away from taking this series and finishing up the group with a 3-1 record. It's ForGG.
I don't know, man. I want to say Taeja would try and play mech again versus ForGG, but I kind of feel like he's got to play to his strength. He's got to go with that BIOS sort of way to handle it. I mean, ForGG doesn't go for massive missile turrets. I mean, even when he does play versus Bio, I'm not talking about last series, but I'm talking in general. And I think a good drop or two could really get Taeja ahead. I mean, we saw, again, it's not the easiest to go mech versus mech. Those Hellion wars are almost about as volatile as Baneling wars.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Well, we are seeing gas first out of Taeja, so interested to see how he decides to play this. If he goes for a very fast Banshee, that could be something that works very nicely for him. We've also seen, we haven't actually seen any of the Marine Hellion elevator drop play today at all.
Actually, that's a good point.
4GG is going to be getting a Reaper and rallying it straight to Taeja's base, so sneaky fast Hellion play won't necessarily be the greatest.
Yeah, of course, it's just luck that it's rallied that way, guys. It is an anywhere spawn map, but I think a big part of this is trying to figure out whether Taeja is going to go Banshees. I mean, that's got to be the #1 question on his mind, because if he doesn't have to worry about Banshees, then he can invest that money elsewhere. He doesn't have to rush that defense out, but again, it's Terran versus Terran, and most of the times it's simply assumed that both of you will do Banshees at some point or another.
Yeah, Banshee's so common right now. First Reaper on its way on over. The second one is also making at the moment, so Taeja adding on a second gas, looking more and more like a Banshee play. He's gonna have to get a Hellion out with that Rax or with the factory. Otherwise, he's gonna take a lot of damage to this Reaper.
2 Marines could hold this off, but looks like
there are 2 Marines. I missed that. First blood. I'm good at looking at the map and stuff.
It's okay, dude. We've been casting for like what, 12 hours at this point. No big deal. It's all good.
Yeah.
Well, I have at least. I don't know. You joined.
I'm at 9.
Still, long day of casting, but all worth it for Dreamhack.
Well, we do have the Banshee play going to be coming on up here for Taeja, unsurprisingly. ForGG, looking like he may go straight into Hellion production here. He's got a reactor coming up on that Rax and a factory right next to it. Could go for a bit of a switcheroo on those. He has a CC on the way up in his main base as well. These two Reapers going to try to do some damage. 1 Marine goes down.
I love the focus fire, by the way. It was originally just kind of the auto attack split, but immediately focused on one of the Reapers. If he had done the other one, it may have just barely been enough. I mean, as we saw, it got very low, but oh man.
All right, so despite this being scouted, Taeja is going to go Cloak.
It's not a bad choice. I mean, again, you're going to have to spend a lot of resources at home to defend against this. Killing a couple SCVs with these Reapers, too. I mean, initially, it's just the idea of scouting, but actually gets a couple kills on the way out. Not a great use of the Reapers, but hey, it's better than nothing.
Very, very true. Now, what's ForGG going to opt for with this starport? Is he going to be going for a medevac? Viking. Okay, so he's going to go straight for a Viking. I'm going to try to shut this down. Yeah, he could have also shut this down potentially with an engineering bay and a missile turret, but he's going to opt for a Viking here. He does have more than enough Marines out. He's going to be up to 6 very, very soon. Getting a tech lab on that factory as well, so could start tank production if he so desired.
Man, I know he's already got the command center.
Taeja's one-basing it, man. He's making a tank.
One base Banshee, I don't know. I'd rather see one base Raven and Viking. I think it's a little bit stronger, but that's just personal preference because that's the build I actually go with. But
he's got to be careful with the Banshee. It takes a lot of damage on it already.
Yeah, Viking could get pursuit, but if he could actually bait that over to the Marines, that'd be really nice. Picking off that Viking early is going to limit a lot of what ForGG can do, but Not going to overextend. Falls back home. Really smart move out of ForGG. Because, of course, if he pushes too far, then he, well, loses one of the most critical units he has available at the moment.
Yeah, he's only got the one Viking. He's going to the Raven right now to back it up. Actually, he's going to the Banshee, ForGG is. The Raven's on Taeja's side. So, Taeja actually not going to one base. He's expanding behind this, but he wants to put on pressure with this 1-1-1 sort of build.
He's gotta be. I love the Widowmine position on ForGG. Like, this is so good at predicting the way a player would come into your base and is gonna hit the Raven or the Banshee. Oh no, just barely. That little dot thing just barely out of range. Meanwhile, it does lose the southern Banshee, but that's okay. This one in the north gonna go unopposed a little bit. There is a scan available, guys, but of course doesn't want to use it if he can get away with getting that Raven out. But oh no, it's Taeja making it. Never mind.
Oh, the scan going down will allow that Widowmine to finish it off. That's a little annoying.
Sick placement, but look at Taeja inside the Nash will force a liftoff.
At the very least, we will do that and get some good damage done to it as well. Does ForGG have enough to push down here? Not quite yet. Taeja had a pretty superior supply lead right now. Another SCV just going to come on down to his death. Poor guy.
Alright, that Widowmine, I gotta say, no matter how this game goes, that Widowmine gets the cool guy mode book like award because that was awesome. Banshee for ForGG, however, it's got nothing to oppose him. There's okay now the Vikings
comes out, so that won't do too much. Got some good damage done. Was it on workers though? Yeah, actually, ForGG killing off 4 workers, not bad at all. Taeja also misrallying a tank at home, so if that had been forward, he may have actually been able to keep that contain going a little longer. Instead, he has to fall back now, and that's very unfortunate. Meanwhile, though, supply counts very even, and Taeja has a worker lead, so this is not like an all-in or anything at all out of him.
No, but it's worth noting, ForGG actually retained that Banshee, and as we've seen in previous series today, sometimes some mid to late game Banshees can destroy a tank line, and I really like that he retained this. I would actually love if he went home to repair this instead of just leaving it lingering. I mean, again, this is a valuable unit. To kill units and get out alive with it, I'd say good job, ForGG.
Yeah, that Banshee definitely worth its weight in gold, as well as it can also be repaired up to full health, of course. So I would love to see that coming out of ForGG. Taeja, looking like he's going to be playing Bio. He's going to be adding on a reactor to this factory. I want to say he's going to play Bio, but no, he's actually lifting off the... Okay, what's he doing? He's moving stuff around a lot. We don't have any extra Raxes down yet, though. Marine tank, perhaps. Okay, there we go. 2 more Raxes.
Side
lined
note,
up.
A Banshee made of gold probably couldn't fly.
Well, how do you know?
It'd be too heavy. It'd be too heavy.
It's the future.
But physics still apply in the future, man. I mean, there's
future.
There's hashtag StarCraft logic, but that's not hashtag StarCraft physics. Physics still exists.
Well, then how do overlords fly?
With their ventricle sacks, obviously.
But they don't have ventral sacs upgraded when they start.
That's because they have tiny ones that you upgrade to the bigger ones so they move faster.
Checkmate. Shh. Checkmate, Rifkin.
What am I trying to poke in for ForGG? Of course, sees the tank count, and most importantly, too, he saw the Ravens of the Vikings, so he knows that his opponent's got this really large air composition. With 3 Vikings of his own and these 2 Banshees, he's got a strong force to contend with what's on the ground, but I don't know he can even take the air fight. I mean, whether it's a point defense drone or seeker missile, this Raven is huge.
It is. As you said, ForGG does have a Viking lead, but if he does get a good point defense drone down the... Okay, he finally does the last second here. Focus fire on the Banshee's very, very important here. The fight at the ground looks like it's going in favor of Taeja pretty one-sidedly, but the Raven is gone. There's nothing to detect this Banshee. He's got a scan, but great engagement for Taeja as he wards ForGG off.
That's something I've seen twice now out of ForGG. He really likes to push without sieging, and I mean, it can be good in particular situations, but in these low counts, I mean, the Marines just have to push everything back long enough for the tanks to get sieged, and unfortunately, for ForGG, just couldn't... That hill, man, I think it was that hill that was the devil.
Yeah, and now, Taeja's in a nice spot. He's got a 3rd CC on the way, no 3rd CC even in sight for ForGG just yet. Adding on the gases at his natural. Meanwhile, they're both going Marine tank, ForGG not opting for mech this time around.
Yeah, like I said in the previous game, guys, ForGG is a player who's well-versed with any sort of build. I mean, if there was some sort of straight-to-sky and sky-only build, he would be on top of it. Him and Taeja, this is why I was so excited to grab this series. Like, when I saw the main stage wasn't cast, and I was like, oh my god, really? We get to cast this? Because, again, these are 2 players who play exceedingly well in TVT, but can also play TVT in any variation. So both players get to go bio this time. Should be a lot of fun. It's not too much different than Mac. The only difference is you see Massive Marines instead of Massive Hellions.
Well, we do have Taeja moving across the map now, picking off another tank in the middle of the map. 4GG's down like 20 supply, and he's gonna siege up here, but Stim's done. Combat Shield's not quite done. It is done for 4GG. That's gonna be a nice little advantage he has, but he doesn't have Stim. No, Doom Drop loaded up Rifkin.
It just takes one bad engagement though from Taeja to run into the siege tanks, to run into the Marines. But yeah, he's not running over Widow Mines here or anything like that. Going towards the main. 4GG perhaps reacting a little too slow. If he sieges up on the low ground, he can get the advantage. He does. Will the tank be enough? He's going to have to absolutely use this Banshee to try and take out that tank. Marines are a little bit irrelevant in this case, but looks like he will hold this Penguin. Going to take a little bit long. Loses the Stim. Oh, for 4GG, that's actually kind of devastating. His bio now going to be incredibly crippled for another almost 2 minutes. Well, actually, forget that, 3 minutes, because he's got to build a new tech lab too.
That's gigantic. Taeja does lose a lot for that. Resource-wise, 4GG traded well. Units-wise, 4GG's looking okay. He's only down by a few Marines, but those Marines will not have Stim. And that's like, words can't describe how gigantic that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than forgetting metabolic boost. It's bigger than forgetting thermal lanes. It's a necessity part of the army. And most importantly, if you look at 4GG, where are the medevacs? He's invested so heavily in Vikings, he can't even heal up the units that can't Stim in the first place.
Well, 4GG moving forward once again. Taeja still up by 15 in supply. I don't know if 4GG can get aggressive without Stim though, Rifkin. This is looking a bit tough for him to try to push into.
He's not in a good spot. Here. I mean, that's the reality. He's not in a good spot. But if there's one guy who could pull it off, I mean, this would be 4GG.
And he has a lot of Vikings to pick up the medevacs as well, which is kind of nice. But at the same time, he doesn't have medevacs himself. Oh, Taeja moving forward.
He needs to land the Vikings.
Everything.
Oh my god, tanks can go down here as well. Gets a last volley off, kills a Marine or two, but 4GG trades away the majority of his army, and Taeja pushing with his counterattack actually looks like he may be unstoppable. There's one tank at home. There's not enough Marines, 7 at a time. He's got the upgrades and upgrades, sure, but Taeja's got the advantage in every way. He's got Stim, he's got +1, he's got plus armor, he's in a good spot. 4GG, oh, did he never restart Stim?
No.
Oh no.
He must not have noticed that it didn't actually happen.
Oh no, he must be pressing T in these engagements.
Starts it again now.
This is a huge blunder by 4GG, guys. Make no mistake. I mean, not only was it delayed so long, whether it was forgotten or on purpose, who knows, but the reality is he's not starting Stimpack till almost 18 minutes in the game. This is the best Terran versus Terran player in the world making a mistake. You know that that's how intense this game is.
Meanwhile, 4GG trying to inch forward here with his tanks.
Oh, he's going to get Stim again.
In the main as well.
He's going to get Stim again.
Oh, that hurts so badly. And at this point, that might actually be the nail in the coffin.
I think it is. He's taking down the reactors. There's no production going on right now for 4GG. And now pushing into the third. There's 3 tanks in a pretty gosh darn good position. But again, Taeja could just drop on top of this. There's no anti-air. There's a couple Marines in the back, but they haven't been with the tanks for very long. Decides to just push in with his Stim. Advances forward. And 4GG, good game. Oh no. Well, good for us. That's game 3, but...
Great play from Taeja, I must say.
Absolutely. But...
fantastic.
That's Stim. That's Stim. There's no way to ignore what happened with that Stim.
Yeah, it kind of hurts. But, you know, it happens, and Taeja taking game number 2 in pretty convincing fashion there. We'll be getting into game 3 on Derelict Watcher any second, guys. I am very pumped for that.
No Stim for you.
Cool 1
year.